up?
Guess who's back? Back again.
Me. You know, the guy that did the Saw Trap video.
Tell a friend.
Okay, yes, I understand. I'm not the real KKM, but the real KKM liked my video so much that he asked me to do another one. So without further ado, let's get on to the list. Now, coming in at number 10 is going to be those creepy masks that the students wear in The Purge. Now, these masks, I mean, they're not the greatest, let's be honest. They're nothing special, but I feel they do their job. You know, it's to hide the identity of, the invaders. It's to hide their facial expressions to make them scarier, and it's kind of in the uncanny valley, so I say they're good masks. That's a good jump scare, but coming in at number 9 is going to be the Strangers. Now, I get that I'm cheating a little bit here since, there's 3 of them instead of 1, but I couldn't just pick one, you know what I mean? So I'd say the best scene that explains why these masks are so good is because, of course, the main point of them is to hide the identity of the killers. And up until this point, their identities are unknown, and their faces are unknown. But the scariest part about these masks is actually when they take them off, because that's just confirmation that you're not getting out of this alive. You've seen their faces. You can't get out of this alive, which I just think is a really messed up idea. Another good thing about these masks is that they look good. They are in the uncanny valley, specifically the 2 ladies on the side, but the guy's mask looks good too, the burlap sack. These are just all-around great masks. Now coming in at number 8 is going to be the man from Hush. Now, this is a great mask for a multitude of reasons. One, it looks...
Nah, I'm just messing around. Can you imagine if I actually whispered for this entire entry?
Alright, stealing jokes from superior commentators aside, this mask is great. Now, it's very simple, but that's the appeal. It's completely in the uncanny valley, and it does its job to hide his identity, but it's just a face painted white with eye holes. Now, it's simple, and I like it simple. It doesn't need to be over the top, it doesn't need to try to be scary, and it works. On to number 7, and it's time to cheat again, because there's 3 more people. It's the animals from Your Next. Now, again, I'm cheating, but I couldn't just pick one. I mean, you have the dog, you have the sheep, you have the tiger, and they're all great, to be honest. Now, these masks instantly became iconic to the movie. And the wolf, the audacity of this guy. Listen to this.
Really? You had to do that right in front of me?
Were you saying something?
And my personal favorite of these masks is actually the sheep, because they take an animal that's known to be passive and non-aggressive, and not very scary at all, like a sheep, and they make it scary. Nice.
Nice birdie!
And number 6 are going to be the pig masks from Saw. Now, as you can expect, this is kind of my area of expertise, not to toot my own horn, but, these masks are awesome. You want to know why? It's because they're only worn during the kidnappings. So whenever you see this mask, stuff's about to go down. Now, of course, these masks instantly became iconic to the series, and even though they're not even the face of the series, they managed to become iconic to Saw, which is kind of funny. That's just impressive, because they're not even the main masks. And even here, when Hoffy's getting kidnapped, guess who it is? It's Dr. Lawrence Gordon.
My name is Lawrence Gordon. I'm a doctor.
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Coming in at number 5, lads and ladies, is going to be Dr. Lecter's mask from Silence of the Lambs. Now, this mask is cool because it actually serves a function, and it's to prevent stuff like this from happening. Not to mention, it looks good, It suits his face, I'd say, He pulls it off. He's probably one of the only people that could pull it off. Good job, Dr. Lecter. You've officially become the best looking dog ever. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Myers. Now, I bet you know this mask. Halloween, it inspired a lot of horror movies. Let's not kid ourselves here. But we also got to take into account the fact that the mask was kind of a pioneer. Now, it probably inspired a lot of other masks. Like, for example, it probably inspired Hush, you know, the plain white face with just the 2 eye holes. It's a great mask. And it started off as just plain white, but over time, it got a little more tattered, it got a little more weathered, it got a little more dirty. And to be honest, would I be crucified for saying that I think I prefer the one from the 2018 version? Would I? Please don't hurt me. Coming in at number 3 is going to be everybody's favorite mask that you can buy cheaply on Halloween. It's the Ghostface mask. Now, you probably saw this one coming. It's a great mask. It instantly became iconic, and I feel like it does something really well. It really embodies the stereotypical horror movie villain mask, and that's exactly what Scream was going for. Another thing about this mask is that it almost becomes kind of like a running gag in the movie. You know, when the principal puts on the mask and he pretends to be all scary. That's a good joke. You know, then he gets maimed. Well, let's all be honest with ourselves. Would Scream be where it is today as a movie without the iconic look of Ghostface? And would Ghostface have that iconic look had it not been for that iconic mask? I don't think so. Coming in at number 2 is going to be everybody's favorite free-range organic mask that is made from only the most quality human face. Yep, that's right. It's Leatherface's mask. Now, I mean, there's something to be said about a mask that gives a horror movie villain their name. You know, his name is Leatherface, and the reason he's called Leatherface is because he's got, well, human leather on his face. Bet you never saw that one coming, huh? But I digress. You know, something great about this mask is that it varies from person to person. Literally, I mean, it depends on whose face he cuts off. This mask will be entirely different. For example, if he just cuts off a normal dude's face, it'll just look like a normal dude. But if he cuts off a pretty lady's face, well, he's a pretty lady. See? And just to tease you all before we get to our number 1, we have our honorable mention. And it's Sam from Trick or Treat. You know, it's just a burlap sack over his big-ass head. But I'd say he pulls it off, right? Coming in at number 1 is actually going to be you guys with your beautiful, beautiful COVID-19 masks. I'm proud of you guys for wearing those masks. Help flatten the curve, guys. Number 1 is Jason. Now, tell me you didn't see this coming. I mean, this man literally took a bit of sports gear and made it into one of the most iconic symbols of horror movies everywhere. You know, he took the hockey mask and he pulled it off. Now, he did only get it in part 3. You know, of course he wasn't in part 1, you know. And in part 2, he just wore a sack. But this mask actually serves a function quite like Dr. Lecter's. And it's to hide his ugly-ass face. Nobody wants to see that. But jokes aside, one of my favorite scenes that revolves around this mask is actually in the 2009 remake. And that's when, you know, he already has the burlap sack on his head. But he finds the hockey mask in the attic. That is when he becomes Jason. I just think this scene is awesome, personally. That's all I got for today, lads and ladies. Now, sorry if the end of this video seemed a little rushed, but TheRealKKM is currently texting me, berating me with texts, telling me that he needs the video. I'm just kidding. He has a gun to my head making me make the video. Please send help. Alright, but unfunny jokes aside, I'd like to thank you guys. You know, speaking on behalf of myself and TheRealKKM, you guys have been showing a lot of support towards these videos, and I appreciate this because I was actually hired as TheRealKKM's graphic designer. Yeah, all those thumbnails that you've been seeing, that's all me. And one final thing, this will be my last video for TheRealKKM. I'm not a content creator, as you can probably tell. I'm not nearly as good at making videos as TheRealKKM, but it's been fun while it lasted. I'll see you guys later.